And then this was last night. Did anybody watch this? Anybody see you saw it? Was anybody there? So I posted, I shared it this was the community meeting down at San Moritz dealing with the line fire. And they had CDF, they had Dykus, our sheriff, and they had, who's our fire chief? Muncie. Yeah, we had Muncie there too. And several other guys, very knowledgeable, a little technical in certain portions of it. But my takeaways from this, first of all, I'd highly recommend you watch this because as you get more and more questions, right? But my takeaways are we're not out of the woods yet. Okay, I mean, Arrowhead is pretty well isolated. Running Springs, they've done an amazing job up there. And Big Bear is being threatened. However, if you listen to this, they've got a firm grip on what they're doing to contain it. And they understand what areas they need to protect. So I thought the session was really good. I thought everybody who participated, including Sheriff Dykus, explained, what they're all doing and how all the resources from all over the place, the feds, the state, law enforcement from everywhere flooding into our community and the other communities that are affected by this. My biggest takeaway from this is that we're not out of the woods this year until the end of October. I mean, we're going to be dealing with this. And what I'm going to be talking about more and more is homeowners, and myself included. I was down checking my generator yesterday afternoon, and I took a look at the perimeter of my house and what's going on down there, right? I don't go down there very often. A lot of growth, a lot of, stuff that shouldn't be there. And they talk about defensible space. Defensible space is not a form that we fill out with our clients. Okay, it's a real thing. Like there's a reason why there's such an emphasis on this. And so we need to be doing this for ourselves as well. So that's my reminder to you this morning. We have an event, the Panorama Fire happened 23 years before the old fire, okay? Basically burned the same areas, right? So what these guys are saying, the experts, is that, every 20 plus years, we're right for an event. How long ago was the old fire? 21 years ago, right? Okay, now granted, we had the Grass Valley fire, which was in a completely different area. But what happens is that the landscape and the stuff grows and creates that environment where you are more at risk. So it's been 21 years since the old fire. So what can we expect? That we could have a fairly significant event in Waterman Canyon. Okay, that is a reality. That is a very real reality. And so we need to be thinking along those lines that, that could be, it's going to be a while for Running Springs now because they made it through the event. Amazingly, after watching what they were faced with, right? It burned right up to the town, like super quick. And then they held it off for like 2 or 3 days to beat it. So it is absolutely amazing. And I don't know how we're going to figure out some kind of I'm sure Running Springs, the town, is going to come together in some kind of an appreciative way, but we need to be talking about that. Like, what can we do for these guys to recognize what they've done? So my big takeaway is start doing stuff around your own house, making sure that you are taking care of that defensible space, and then just be prepared. Be prepared for the fact that, we're not out of it yet. Go ahead.
My big takeaway is we don't know when we get to go home.
Yeah, true.
And we don't know when our kids are going to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two, kind of big concerns for our community. I know they're going to meet, there's going to be a board meeting tonight and everything.
School board meeting.
Yeah, and so, yeah, well, who knows if they've already made the decision, but of how they sent out a survey, so I don't know if they're going to go online school or what.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, but.
So I noticed in the session last night that the last question that they took was, when do we get to go home? And that was very evasive, right? Yeah. Not understandably why.
We were like,
yeah. Yeah.
eye-opener for me, that all the departments, they have to square away
Yes.
before they can make that decision.
Yeah,
Yeah, they said one day at a time, but.
yeah. Yeah, they did say it, they evaluate at 10:30 every morning. They start talking about with the group, whatever it was, like Tom said, I think there's 6 or 7 agencies, utilities. Everybody has to come together and have a conversation about, this is about protecting people. But it's also about them being able to do the work that they need to do and not have people in the way. I mean, that's the other part of this. And so it's not over with by any means. And we feel for those that are living it more than the rest of us are living. I mean, we're living it from my perspective because of all the smoke and all that. Some people are really going through real stuff, Jamie being one of them. So. Anyway, the only other thing I would say is for us, and I know many of you are doing it in different ways, reaching out, making yourself accessible. If there's things that you can help people with, John Lassick left. He was standing in my doorway yesterday, and he mentioned that he left without a belt. He didn't have a belt, and so I brought him a belt this morning, so it's those little things that we can do that maybe that'll brighten John's day a little bit and he can hold his pants up a little bit better. So. Some reminder, and what a positive attitude that they have. I mean, they're just doing it. They're getting it, and that's a testament to who we all are and who they are. I have several slides here. I'm not going to really go through them, but because you all understand, I think, what a evacuation warning is and what an evacuation order is, and how they affect us. But just as a resource, it'll be with the meeting notes slides. So if you want to send it out to your clients or there's some confusion, you have some materials there that you can utilize to help bring clarity to people, because there's a lot of people, the media, I can't tell you how much I've been contacted by people out of the area that are like, oh my God, you're burning down. We feel for you. And I mean, you're getting all these comments. So, and you got a lot of homeowners that own properties that aren't here, that they're legitimately concerned and worried about their property. And so some of these tools that I have in the meeting notes might be useful to you to kind of help them and send it out to them. This just talks about how to be ready to evacuate. And this is something that is applicable now, because there's a chance, okay, they're going to be working for 2 months in Running Springs cleaning up, okay, in that area. There's going to be that's a 2-month process or more. And so if something happens in Waterman Canyon, which is my biggest concern, or Miller Canyon on the other side, and we have to be evacuated, these are just some good tools that you can also put out to your clients, so they understand what they need to be prepared for. A lot of people haven't been through this. And then this is just a slide talking about road closures.